3, 2, 1. What is up, everybody? This is Michael Obazinski coming to you on the OBO Car Show. Today is going to be a little bit special of an episode. My friend Tom from Panther magazine, he's not part of it, but he's one of the followers, and there's a big following with this Panther magazine. I will leave their info down below. If you are an owner of a Panther, I highly recommend you go check out Panther magazine and follow them. So getting to today, I wanted to say, first and foremost, thank you for dropping by the channel. I appreciate your view, and I appreciate you stopping by. If you can give us a like if you like this video, I'd appreciate that as well. So today I will be speaking about the Panther platform and its history and how it came to fruition and how it ended. So the Panther platform, a little bit of a tongue twister, was brought to life in the year of 1979, which introduced the first generation of the then known Ford LTD and Mercury Marquis. At first, it was not called the Grand Marquis. It was just called the Marquis. We'll get to that in a little bit later. There was also two wagons at the time. These wagons at the time were called the Ford Country Squire and the Mercury Colony Park. So those were very limited run vehicles. They did not last very long. With the oil crisis and the emissions taking over, this downsize was definitely a must for Ford, which is why they brought on the Panther platform. The new vehicles came equipped with two engine choices. This includes the wagons. A 4.9-liter V8, which Ford called the 5.0, but it was really 4.9, but it was a 5.0, and a 5.8-liter V8. These engines were very measly, as they only had 130 to 150 horsepower, again, because of that oil and emissions crisis. This was a sad time for muscle cars and all V8s around the world, especially in the U.S. But yes, those engines did have anywhere from 130 to 150 horsepower. That wasn't much to be able to haul these cars, but it got the job done. In the 1980 model year, 1 year later, Ford introduced the Lincoln Continental Mark VI. 3 years later, the nameplates on these vehicles did change. It became what we know of now as the Marquis became the Grand Marquis. The LTD became known as the Crown Victoria LTD. And the Continental was renamed the Lincoln Town Car, which is still in production to this day, but it is not a Panther car. In the 1985 model year, the Town Car did receive a redesign, although the Crown Victoria and Grand Marquis would not obtain their remodel until the 1988 model year. The Town Car was the first Panther to receive a significant change. In 1990, the giant Lincoln received more rounded, more sleek sheet metal looks, rear air springs, and a stiffened chassis that firmed up the ride and somewhat reduced the body roll. This was a big improvement for the luxury standpoint of Lincoln, because Lincolns at first were built kind of like the big boxy V8 type cars, but once they inputted this, it kind of brought that luxury theme, and it was the beginning of the luxury theme to Lincoln especially. The 1990 Town Car was very unpredictable, that more than 30,000 were pre-ordered because it was such a hype in 1990. There was a big change that came along with it, and it's mainly what we know as the current Lincoln Town Car that was the Panther platform. In 1992, the Crown Victoria and Grand Marquis finally got their impatiently awaited redesign. During this model year, the oh-so-slow 4.9-liter engine was finally replaced with the new Ford 4.6-liter modular engine. This engine was a good engine, and it is what is in the newest Panther platform vehicles as well. It was a great engine. To be honest, very easy to work on, very cheap parts, very economical. It's a great engine. I would almost compare it to the Chevy 3800 with the quality of this engine. And I've talked to many, many Panther owners, and they all say these cars will run forever. One of my buddies, it actually has 180,000 miles, and it runs beautifully. But so that was the update for the 1992 model year. During this model year, the 4.9 was replaced with the 4.6. During this generation of the Crown Vic, it shared a very similar look to the Ford Taurus of this time period. You may have seen them in a lot of cop movies. The Crown Vics, the 80s, early 90s Crown Vics were definitely looked like the Tauruses. You may have also seen Tauruses in cop movies, for example, RoboCop. But during this model year, the Crown Victoria shared the same look as the Taurus, like I said. This year was also a big year for Ford and the Panther platform. The first ever police interceptor, Crown Victoria, was brought to the table and launched in the United States. This is truly what built the foundation for the Crown Victoria. Every police department, every court, every municipality, all of them had Crown Victorias. It was the number one selling police interceptor. It wiped out everybody. The Chevy Impala was wiped out. The Dodge Charger was wiped out. Even the Ford Explorers for a while were wiped out. It was the most reliable and out there police interceptor on the market. Unfortunately, the sale of the Country Squire and Colony Park I mentioned earlier were silently dropped around the late 80s, early 90s. In 95, all the Panther platform vehicles received a minor refresh with new grills and slimmer headlights. The closing act of the Crown Victoria was the last generation, which started in 1998. As this generation arose, both the Grand Victoria and the Grand Marquis became almost identical looking. This is the most recent model that you know of, where the town car, the Grand Marquis, and the Crown Victoria shared taillights, they shared body designs, they shared all of that, and it was the last body-on-frame car to be produced in the United States. Keep that in mind. Last body-on-frame car. Yes, I said it. Last body-on-frame car. As this generation arose, both the Grand Marquis and the Victoria came identical looking. Yep. All three of the Panther platform vehicles received an updated version of the 4.6-liter V8, bringing to the table a big improvement of 200 to 220 horsepower compared to the 130 to 150 of the original engine. The last and final update to the line was the Mercury Marauder. This vehicle was very, very special from the get-go. It was not your average Grand Marquis. It was sharp. It was clean. There are not many of them out there, and if you could find one at a great price, I would snag one up in a heartbeat. Even if it's a little beat up and you could fix it, snag that bitch. Because these cars, there was only 11,000 made in its 2-year run. That is rarer than the Holden Chevy SS, which is my dream car, and that car was imported here on a ship from Australia, and this Marauder, which is American made, is rarer than that. So if you can snag one at a good price with good miles, you go do that, because great vehicle, very rare. They were super sharp, to be honest. And the Marauder was the fastest and most upgraded Panther that was ever built. Like I said, unfortunately, the Marauder did only last 2 years with only 11,000 sold in the entire run. But after many years of the Crown Victoria, it became a fleet-only vehicle, limiting buyers to only the Grand Marquis and the town car. Like I said, the Crown Vic kind of became more of a business, fleet, municipal police at the end of its run. So nowadays, if you're going to look for a Crown Victoria or Grand Marquis, mainly a Crown Victoria, make sure you look for a police interceptor that has semi-low miles that is not beat to crap. If you could find a good police interceptor in good condition, snag it up. For real, snag it up. Those are great cars. You could do a lot of stuff to them. You could straight pipe them. Oh my God, do those cars sound so good straight piped. They sound better than some other V8s. They sound raw when they are straight piped compared to some other cars. But yeah, so the last the last Crown Victoria to roll off the production line. This was a very sad day for a lot of people, and it's still sad for people who own Panthers but didn't own them then. The last one came off the production line in Ontario, Canada on September 15th, 2011. This marked a sad day for many, including the people who do own them to this day. These cars were and are still so well known for their reliability, cheap parts, ease of working on, and all around a great economical choice. These vehicles are legendary. Like I said, probably just as legendary as the Chevy 3800, and they've been around longer than that, to be honest. I looked that up with my buddy. So, to conclude all of this, the Panther platform was one of the most successful Ford platforms to ever be made. It sold the most cars, it ran the longest, and it was the most reliable Ford that was made. These new Fords can get a little rough with reliability, but these Crown Vics, whoo doggy, they last forever. That concludes this video. I am looking for people who would be willing to share their stories on their Crown Vic and be in a call or a voice audio or such. Share their stories with their Crown Vic, kind of like an interview. If you'd be interested in doing that, please do give me a follow, message me on social media, or email me. I'll leave that email in the bottom of the description. But yeah, so that concludes today. Today was on the Panther platform. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment down below your favorite year of the Panther and your favorite model and your engine, and let me know what you think about the Panther. Thank you.